Today's recipe we're going to make is the Greek Stifatho. Fantastic for a cold winter's night. So we're going to serve this to about 6-7 people. So I have 2 kilos of oyster blade steak, which is one large person, a piece per person, which should be cut into about 3 pieces each. We have 1.5 kilos of small pickling onions, usually about 6 onions per person. Other ingredients we're going to use is 1 medium onion, a couple of sticks of cinnamon, a couple of bay leaves, 3 large cloves of garlic, about 8 cloves, and also some fresh rosemary. We'll also add to the sauce some cumin powder, of course salt, pepper, a couple of tablespoons of red wine vinegar, some tomato puree, and of course a really good large glass of red wine. Okay, so what I'll do to start with is I'll cut up the meat ready for the Stifatho. Okay, now to start preparing our ingredients, we're going to cut the oyster blade steak into about pieces around that size. A bit rustic, whatever you think is good. And get them all prepared, ready to go into the casserole. Some pieces that are quite large I might cut into 4 pieces like this one. Okay, now our meat's all prepared, cut up nicely. What we're going to do now is brown the meat, because this Stifatho is going to be cooked in the oven. It can be cooked on the stove top or in the oven, but I prefer the oven because it can cook slowly for a couple of hours. Okay, so I'll take my meat over to the stove to brown that in oil. Okay, so our oil is nicely heated. I'm just going to, in olive oil I'm using, just place some of the meat into the pan to brown. And do some batches. To begin with. And then I'll place the browned meat into a large oven-proof casserole. I have the oven already heating up to moderately slow, about 325. It's a bit longer yet. Now let's see here, time to turn the meat over. It's browning nicely. A little bit brown at the side, and we'll place it in our casserole ready to go into the oven. And then I'll brown the rest of the meat. Okay, while our meat is finishing off browning, we're going to get 1 medium-sized onion ready, brown. Peel the onion. Chop our onion, just to dice. Take it over to the stove where the meat is just finished browning, and we'll add this to the pan. Okay, off to the stove we go. Spread this over to the rest of the meat in our pan. And I must admit, I've got 2 kilos here, but I think it's going to feed about 8 to 10 people. A lot of meat, so that's good leftovers for us tomorrow. And leftovers always taste best the next day, so that's great. So now what I'm going to do is add our chopped onion to the remainder of the oil that's in the pan. So that, try and get all the nice bits of meat off the pan with that. Let that brown a little. I'll go and cut up some garlic now to add to the onion. One more clove to go. Okay, just finishing off getting the garlic ready. Then you want to get a nice rustic chop. Okay, we add our garlic to our onions. It's been in the pan cooking nice and slowly for a few minutes. Give it a nice stir. And it'll cook away for a few minutes to make the garlic nice and brown. And then we'll prepare our sauce to go onto the Stifatho. Right, so now we're going to add the nicely browned onion and garlic. A good teaspoon of cumin. We'll add our cinnamon sticks. A little bit of a stir. Now we'll add our wet ingredients. First we'll put our tomato puree, and I may even add some more tomato puree in a moment. We'll just check that. Give it a stir. Now, a glass of wine. Now we need to add about 2 tablespoons, maybe 3 of red wine vinegar. I'll put in 3. We've got a lot of meat there. Okay, now we also want to add some salt. I think I'll put in 2 teaspoons. And a really good grinding of black pepper. And I'll give it a bit of a stir. And then our bay leaves, 2 large bay leaves, our cloves, and a bit of rosemary. And we'll let it cook away for a few moments. And try also to lift the nice the bottom of the pan where the meat got a little bit stuck. That adds so much flavour to the gravy. And I think because it has such a large quantity of meat, I will add a little bit more of that tomato puree. It's cooking away beautifully, but I'm going to add another half cup of tomato puree, or you can use tomato paste and some water. That also works really well. I've tasted for seasoning and it tastes really nice. So I'm going to leave it like it is. And now I'm going to pour this over the meat to go into the oven. Our sauce is going to be tipped evenly as I can over our meat, and I'll scrape those last bits of onion in a moment. Right, so now we put the sauce over our oyster baked steak. We cover it with alcohol or a lid if you have a lid for your casserole. And now place it in the oven where it can cook for at least 1 hour before we add our onions to that. So now I'm preparing the onions to go on top of the Stifatho in the oven. What you do is just cut a little bit off the root part of the onion and the stem. And then just score or cut across the root part of the onion. Leave the skin on for now, and that will help the onion, prevent it from popping out of the onion while it's cooking in the oven. So I'm going to do all these onions, and I'm going to place some boiling water on the onions, which will help make it really easy to remove the skin from the onions. So prepare all these onions. Down to our last onion, so I'll remove a bit of the root of the onion there. And also you can leave this little edge on if they're nice and clean, because it looks really good when the Stifatho is finished. So don't forget, just crisscross the root part of the onion. Now I'm going to take this over to our kettle, and I'm going to pour some boiling water on top of these onions to make them easier to peel. So now covering our onions in boiling water. And then we'll leave them for about 2 minutes, and I'll drain them and start peeling off the skins. So now our onions are almost completed. I'm going to finish these off and then leave them until our meat has been cooking for 1 hour. Then we'll place them in the meat in the oven. The skins normally peel off really easily after being soaking in the water for a few minutes. Okay, all set to go into the oven. Okay, now let's see if our Stifatho is cooking along nicely. We'll take it out, turn the meat over, and then place our onions into the gravy. Let's have a look at this. Oh yeah, looking beautiful. Smelling even better. Turn our pieces of meat over. And now we'll place our onions into the gravy, so most will submerge, some will sit on the top. One little trick is you place a little bit of about a tablespoon of sugar, raw sugar, over the top of the onions. It helps them to caramelise. Now that goes back covered again. And we'll check that in about 1 hour's time. Our Stifatho has been in the oven for about 2 hours now, and it's feeling really tender, beautiful. Onions are cooked beautifully, so I think we can now serve this. It's smelling delicious. The smell of cinnamon is coming out quite strongly. It's just beautiful, warm, wintry smell, and this is going to be served now with some beautiful crusty bread and a glass of beautiful red wine. Enjoy.